Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni says he can't guarantee that A.J. Brown will be back on the roster in 2026. This is huge news. Off the back of what we believe to be A.J. Brown maybe changing his tune, maybe not wanting to be elsewhere in 2026. And now all of a sudden we've got this man known as Nick Sirianni, a head coach I think is very, very, very overrated. And it's offensive coordinators. It's Nick Sirianni riding the coattails of the success of others. And now here we are, ladies and gentlemen, discussing A.J. Brown trade rumors again. A.J. Brown repaired this, we thought, talking good about his place in Philly, talking good about the fans, looking like he wants to stay, kind of turning over a new leaf. But Sirianni and A.J. Brown had a spat. They've had a bunch of disagreements, but on the field during the playoff loss, it looked like A.J. Brown was about to headbutt Nick Sirianni. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be quite an interesting week and month, but interesting week maybe in the next couple days as this story unfolds. It sounds like Sirianni doesn't want A.J. Brown in Philly, whether A.J. Brown's changed his tune or not. We'll discuss all of this and more, the Fantasy Football Show. Where does he land if he does go? Is it New England? Is it Buffalo? That show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
This has gotten back and forth. It's kind of been a roller coaster ride, as anything will be during the off season, during smoke season. So don't ever think you can get comfortable with a piece of news like, hey, A.J. Brown might be wanting to get traded. A.J. Brown might not want to be traded anymore. Brandon Ayuk last year wanted to be traded. They set up a trade. The Cleveland deal was almost done. Brandon Ayuk backed out. We never truly know where these players' loyalties lie, where they desire to be playing in any particular season. But in this circumstance, A.J. Brown was the diva. A.J. Brown was the complainer. Sirianni is not, like I said, not a very good coach in many ways. He rides the coattails of the coordinators, and when the coordinators aren't humming, he's not humming. He's kind of like Campbell in that way. There's some good, delegation management skills. There's some good potential. You kind of guide the ship in certain ways that he does some of that well. You can't win a Super Bowl or be a successful team year after year, not being able to navigate some of those waters as a head coach. But if it's all on his shoulders, this team will fail. He needs the proper offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator in place in order to get the most out of his players. And if you need evidence, you just need to delve into the production, the lack of production that Sirianni's team has been not producing over the last handful of years. They've got an arsenal of weaponry in A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, an amazing defense, top 5 in the league in every single category. And this team can't score points. Jalen Hurts has struggled on occasion to even throw for 99 plus yards. A.J. Brown's not fed the ball. When they do force feed him because he cries and complains, they lose games when he gets the ball. So it's a mess over in Philly. And anybody that thinks Sirianni's a good coach, you're kidding yourself. In many ways, I believe that A.J. Brown did want to go, but rectified that in his own mind and turned the page and did feel like he was trending toward the way he talked about his teammates, team, and city, staying in Philly in 2026. But Sirianni, apparently, this is just one statement really, or I'll read the entire thing to you. This is from Nick Sirianni. Will AJ be here next season? ? I think we're still in a spot where I can't guarantee how anything is going to play out into the next season. I'm thinking I'm going to be the coach next season, but you can't guarantee anything past tomorrow. That was Sirianni's long-winded answer. You might have said before I read that, Smitty, maybe this is getting taken out of context, and he just said something like, I don't know, no one knows. Just a real short statement in passing, and people are trying to twist it up. And no, I read a pretty lengthy situation. I read a pretty lengthy, let's see, we got a delivery. We got a delivery from FedEx. This is it's here, ladies and gentlemen. I can't go get it now because it's going to take some time, but the Tailbreaker has arrived. The Tailbreaker has arrived. Code Smitty25 gets you $25 off a Tailbreaker, but I see it in the driveway camera right now. The Tailbreaker has arrived. It's sitting right there in front of my vehicle, guarded from the street traffic, of course. But I see it. It's standing upright. It looks beautiful, and it's cardboard box. I can tell. But the Tailbreaker is here. Tailbreaker.com. Code Smitty25 gets you $25 off your Tailbreaker. I just got an email alert as well. So we're cooking. The Tailbreaker, we'll be doing live streams from the back of the 4Runner. I got a whole extravagant setup I'm going to do. I'm going to build a live stream studio on the back of my 4Runner so that when we go out and about, we'll be able to do it up. 25. Anybody that uses code Smitty25 and gets one, the first person to do it is in the Wild Wild West League, which we draft in March. The Wild Wild West, because we always do something wild. Last year we drafted after, I think, 4 weeks of play. We didn't touch the draft until we got to week 5. Then we did our inaugural draft. We did the startup draft in week 5. It's a redraft league, but we did the draft in week 5 because it's wild. So the Wild Wild West League starts in March. We're going to draft in March. It's redraft, but we're going to draft early because it's wild. And winner gets a pair of Gunner glasses. We'll go over all that stuff later. But the first person to buy a Tailbreaker using, let's see, what's the code? Smitty25. Smitty25 gets $25 off. And look, this is I think they give you like a 15 to, I think they give you a $25 discount or 25 or 50 already on the website. So I think this gets you an additional 25. But if you think you're going to be able to use this anyway, and it's a glorious product, then two birds with one stone. Can't wait to see if anybody is able to pick up one of those. Let them know your boy sent you. You'll do that by giving them code Smitty25, but let them know anyway. They'd be happy to hear from you in an email like, hey, I bought it off the Fantasy Football Show recommendation. They'd be just tickled pink. And your boy Smitty is loving this product. I chased them down, by the way. They didn't come knocking on my door. There are certain products I go and knock on the doors myself, and that's one of them. And I can't wait to use it. Speaking of knocking on doors to potentially, see if, hey, you got any room for me to come play football? New England Patriots might be considering this. Buffalo Bills, these are the two most ideal landing spots for wide receivers walking into the 2026 NFL offseason, free agency timeframe, and also the 2026 NFL draft territory. We look at the wide receiver landing spots, New England, Buffalo, New England. Really hard to say that one is better than the other right now. They're both absolutely elite. This team right here, the Washington Commanders, is a good spot as well, but maybe not as much for A.J. Brown. They're ranking probably 3 or 4 when we're talking about trading for a young BT or a young Rome Odunze or a young and explosive, complicated situation. George Pickens, maybe Jerry Jones is going to do what he did with Parsons, screw it all up. A.J. Brown's different because the reason it makes sense to get a young buck in there like BT, Odunze, Pickens, is because McLaurin's got about a good year left before he falls right off the cliff. And so A.J. Brown's also probably got a good, maybe 2 years, but we'll say play it safe 1 year at a time with A.J. Brown, with the knee injuries, the offseason scopes that he gets every offseason that we hear about last second. Like, oh, by the way, A.J. Brown had a surgery in March. It's August, and we're like, what? He keeps his surgeries under the radar. Nobody knows A.J. Brown has surgery until 3-4 months later. That's the way A.J. Brown rolls. He's a diva. He keeps to himself. This is the kind of guy, A.J. Brown, that would literally not answer his phone, during the off season. Like, those people at your work, they're like, when I Don't text me when I'm off of work. Like, how dare you? Make sure you send me a Slack. Thank God I don't have to live in that world, but I know some of you know those people. They're so annoyed. They go out of their way to say, if I clock out, no one can reach me ever. And you just look at them, you're like, bro, you know, I understand it, at the same time I do. But there are people that take it to like the extreme. And AJ Brown's probably that guy. I bet you anything, he doesn't answer the phone. He doesn't pick up for Sirianni. He doesn't even want to hang out with his teammates. I mean, I know he probably does to some degree. I'm kind of probably over exaggerating this a little bit, but he does very much feel like the kind of guy that is gonna not be the biggest team player on all levels. You know, can't get a hold of him, does his own thing. The football is not as important to him as other things. Winning isn't important to him. Getting the football is more important to him than winning. Proof by going through the first 4 weeks of football last year undefeated, the Philadelphia Eagles. A.J. Brown wasn't getting the ball. When he walked off the field during, I believe it was the fourth win, 4 in a row, he walked off the field and took a beeline away from the reporters, and he diva'd out. He was such a diva. He's like, I ain't getting your ball. We're 4-0. And that's just the way he is. That's why I say that while there might be some things where he maybe does hang out with some teammates. I'm not trying to generalize everything I know about him. But this is the kind of guy that doesn't care about the winning as much as the stats. Probably doesn't care about talking to his teammates and doing extra stuff. He probably doesn't wear extra flair. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, he probably says, how many pieces of flair do I have to wear on my uniform? Like a couple, probably 12 pins. 12 pins of flair. Okay, then I'll wear 12. But AJ, we kind of encourage you wear a little more. Show a little personality. Maybe 14, 15. Pieces of flair. And then AJ Brown says, look, if you want me to wear 14 pieces of flair, tell me to wear 14 pieces of flair. If you tell me the minimums or the minimum's 12, I'm going to wear 12. That's AJ Brown. He doesn't really care. And I see a couple of your comments in the live chat that he's a toxic locker room person. And that's true. There's certainly something brewing upstairs with him. These Diva wide receivers, they take so many hits. They probably have so many concussions we don't know about. And honestly, we're watching Puka Nacua kind of go off the rails a little bit. You can sit here and go, let him live his life, Smitty. Stop being a old head. He's out there living his dream, doing his thing, living his best life. Yeah, I think so. And I'm not calling him Antonio Brown. Please don't act like I'm saying that. But when Antonio Brown started to unravel, it was very much like the way Puka looks right now. It was very innocent. He's just kind of popping off, and he's doing his own thing. Antonio Brown's living his life. He's going to burn his feet off. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Burning his feet off was Antonio Brown's first move that was big, like noticeable. It's like, wait a minute. Living his best life. He just burned his feet off. Remember when he burned his feet off? Anybody remember that? That was crazy. That's kind of where Puka is right now. Like, you want to act like Puka Nacua is just living his best life. He's out there in the wild, just kind of going a little crazy, and he's going this way with Sweeney. Now he's dating a 39-year-old WWE wrestler, and he's doing live streams in the locker room while the boys are saying, bro, we're out here. We're in the back here. We don't want to be on live stream while we're in the locker room, in our undies. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm not live streaming. Like, he's just all over the place. And Puka worries me a little bit and the reason I say all this is because sometimes these players, these wide receivers, they take so many hits. Like this situation Antonio Brown's currently in now is gonna, I think, happen to a lot more wide receivers. And then there's gonna be a lot of more awareness around concussions and CTE and all these different things. Not suggesting that anybody has it. I'm not trying to insinuate any one person I mentioned even has it. We don't really know a lot. And CTE, you don't even know if someone has it until they do look at it later when you're already gone and away from this earth. So, but AJ Brown, while I think he seems like a really good dude off the field, he does a lot of giving and all that. He is a toxic person in the locker room. And so a little bit of that comes with the territory here if you bring him in. But remember what I said about George Pickens? And I was 100% on the money about Georgie boy Dak attacking the boys.
Dak attack. Oh, Dak attack.
boy, were we right on Pickens. But what did I tell you guys about Pickens? I said Pickens is going to put the pause on this Diva. They're going to hit the pause button. It's going to last, the pause button's going to last 1 calendar year. 365 days of pause. No Diva, just a happy Pickens, all smiles, all glory, all friendly, team-oriented guy. What did Antonio Brown do in the middle of he burned his feet off. He went in this direction. Grandma, I'm free. Got himself released from the Raiders, the then Oakland Raiders. Antonio Brown was a mess. He went to Tampa Bay, fresh start. And what did I tell you was going to happen? Pause button. Who was a behaved, good little boy for over a year in Tampa under Tom Brady's staircase. Tom let him stay at the house under the stairs. He was a well-behaved boy. Antonio Brown didn't do a single thing wrong for a good calendar year plus. Why? Change of scenery. Why? Appreciation. Pickens was wanted for the first time in his career, and he was getting fed footballs. Pickens was a happy camper. Now, I told you 1 calendar year, that might get unpaused. I was 100% correct on that. I believe I'm 100% correct on this. If A.J. Brown does get traded to the Buffalo Bills, the New England Patriots, to a place, mind you, listen to the words that I'm saying, because it's very important. Because if you go somewhere else, it doesn't necessarily apply. Diva mentality could insinuate right away. But if he goes somewhere with a quarterback, Josh Allen, gunslinger, Buffalo, Drake May, gunslinger in New England, JD5, gunslinger in Washington. He goes to one of those situations, ladies and gentlemen. Pause button pressed for A.J. Brown Diva. He is not going to be a Diva for at least 1 calendar year, 364 days at least. The boy's not going to be upset. He's not going to complain. He's going to be all smiles. His team wanted him. They traded for him. His quarterback throws the ball pretty damn well. He's going to get fed volume because the team traded for him for a reason, and the wide receiver rooms are bare bones, and the quarterbacks throw footballs. A.J. Brown will be the best behaved wide receiver in the league for at least 1 calendar year. So guess what, people? That's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with. No Diva for 1 year. If he goes somewhere like Cleveland, he's cooked. We're cooked. A.J. Brown's going to turn into a bigger Diva than ever. He goes somewhere worse than Philly. We're all cooked if we own him in Dynasty. He's done. He's done so. He's at Amari Cooper getting traded to, bad example, Buffalo. Remember, he goes to Buffalo, does nothing. That's because he was at his end. But, it's crazy. I don't know. Phone lines are open. A.J. Brown, I believe, turned over a new leaf, doesn't want to leave Philly anymore until today, maybe. This might really bother him. But I believe A.J. Brown turned the page, wanted to stay in Philly. They got rid of their OC. That was the problem. That was the problem, right? He was willing to give Philly another chance. Sirianni says, I don't agree. I think the damage between me and A.J. Brown, Sirianni saying, the damage between me and A.J. Brown. Nick Caserio, the GM of the Houston Texans, just said on C.J. Stroud potential trade rumors, he's not going anywhere. That's what he just said. He's not going anywhere. So C.J. Stroud, put those ideas to bed. But Sirianni says, not so fast. I don't think that we can move on from this. So my talking about A.J. Brown not wanting to get traded anymore, I think it's still correct. Until today. This might rub A.J. Brown the wrong way and he wants to flip that script again. But I think we were right on the money in terms of A.J. Brown's attitude's changed. He wants to stay. The offensive coordinator's gone. That's the biggest part of the problem. Let's give Philly 1 more year. I'm liking this idea. Let's run it back one more time. And Sirianni goes, no. This is not the way it's going to play out because you tried to headbutt me on national television in the last playoff game that we lost. We lost our playoff game, and you tried to headbutt me on national television. You might as well just walk into my private office and take a double-decker, an upper decker. That would be more polite than trying to almost headbutt me on national television during a playoff game that we're losing. So, dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
This is what's coming out of San Francisco right now. I'm sorry, Kansas City. Chiefs GM Brett Veach wants a running game of Kansas City to be more explosive. We want to get more explosive in the running game. We've invested in the interior. And then a lot of Breece Hall rumors are kicking in. Jeremiah Love, we've already talked about this, but Veach wants a running game, wants explosive running production. Breece Hall, Jeremiah Love, almost a lock. One of those feels like almost a lock to go to New York. Tempted to go back live on that. Tempted to end the live stream and come right back on that. Let's end the live stream and come back. Let me hit Bruce real quick. Bruce, you got 10 seconds because I got to go live on this right here. I'm gonna end the live stream and come back on the Kansas City Chief news.
Okay, mine was about Kansas City. What do you think on maybe AJ Brown going to Kansas City?
No. I mean, anything's possible, but their focus will be on Breece Hall. And if they take Jeremiah Love, then they'll need a receiver potentially, but not necessarily. They got Worthy, bro. They've got Rice right now, and they don't have.
He stays out of trouble.
Yeah, but they don't have that information. You can't just go get AJ Brown because you wonder. Like if they don't have anything now, if they go get AJ Brown, then we know they have word from the commissioner about something. But yeah, Rice could get suspended. He might not. We don't know. There's nothing on that right now. So AJ Brown trade probably won't happen until we have a clear evidence that something's going to happen to Rice this year, which could, but I don't know. All right, call back, Bruce. We'll be live. You can talk more about it. Be a good time to bring it up again. You can bring it up again when you call in.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm going to end the live stream right now. We're going to come back on the Breece Hall, Jeremiah Love likelihood to go to New York Jets situation because of what Veach just said right now, which he's already kind of said. Through other means of communication, we've heard this already, but this is fresh news. It's getting spread around all over, so we're going to go live, be back in T-minus 5 minutes or less. Let me just go over to Rumble real quick, who I haven't said hello to yet. Bullfrog, appreciate you. New Age in the building, appreciate you. 420 Man and Gannons, appreciate all of you. We'll be back. Everybody on Rumble, on YouTube, please reconvene in 5 minutes here on the channel. I'm going to end this because you know me. I don't care if we're maybe losing some viewers because then people don't come back. But it's important to have these compartmentalized videos for your viewing pleasure. When you hit my YouTube channel, you start searching, and I don't just want to have it buried in here. So we'll come back. See you all in about 5 minutes. Appreciate you.